The 7 questions everybody asks before they retire, and how you should think about the answers. Hi, I'm Pascal Curran. I'm a financial advisor at the top of Ireland up in Donegal, and I've been advising people and helping them make prudent financial decisions for over 30 years. Feels every day of it today, but it's over 30 years. So today we're going to talk about those questions, and I've been doing this for quite a while, and the same questions keep up and the same challenges people have. And whether you're 22 thinking about retirement or whether you're 62 for thinking about retirement, the same questions are pretty much the same. So do I have enough to retire? When can I actually stop work? Obviously for a 22-year-old, they're probably not thinking so much about that. It's more like my age. Thinking about that one. Should I reduce risk? So there's 7 questions. We're going to take you through all of them, and we'll have a think about the answers. Do I have enough to retire? And this is the question that comes up most often, and I think most people frame it in the wrong way. Pension isn't about having enough. When we get to pension age, we're more interested in the income that we're going to get in pension and whether that's going to sustain our life. So it's not so much about having a pot or the size of the pot, is how can we use that as an asset to give us the income we actually need? And when you get to a certain age, thinking about the income rather than having a big wad of money is much more important. It's not about time, it's not about the pot size. What matters most is that what am I going to get paid every month? And most people underestimate what they'll actually need. They think, well, I'm going to retire, so a lot of the bills won't be there, but they will. I mean, your day-to-day living expenses don't stop just because you decide to retire. And when you have a vague target, it makes it more difficult to plan. And having a clear picture of what is coming in and what's going out is the starting point. So, budget. It's always back to budget. And most financial plans always start with that question. What is coming in? What is going out? What will still be there when you retire? Because your day-to-day expenses are still going to be there. Some will change. Some will look different, but they're still going to be there. When can I actually stop work? For most people, retirement isn't a fixed date. Yes, 66 might be in your contract, 68 might be in your contract. But for most people, and I work with quite a lot of people throughout Ireland that are coming to retirement, and most of them don't actually have, well, that's me, I'm done, I'm finished, I'm gone. Most times it is a 2 or a 3 or maybe even a 4-stage plan. And first one is they stop working so much. So they reduce from full-time and maybe work a little bit of part-time, because you can't just fall off a cliff. You need something to get out of bed in the morning. And having part-time work, it might even be different work, but having something part-time to get you out of bed in the morning is hugely important for your mindfulness, for your self-esteem, for your self-worth. It's not just all about money. Some people will go do consultancy. It's entirely up to you, and work becomes in your own terms. And then you move into full-time retirement, and that can be because you need to, or maybe health takes you a certain. So it's not just about when, it's how. So a good bit of work on the money side of it, but also how does that look like? Should I reduce risk now? And risk and volatility is a question that we speak about a lot when it comes to pension age. And most people maybe misunderstand the difference in risk and volatility, and they also don't understand that de-risking or taking the volatility out of your pension pot can cost you an awful lot of money over the longer period. So moving to cash too early is not a good idea. A calmer approach, a planned approach, and obviously an informed approach is the best way to do this. So speak to your advisor. Sit down with them and say, listen, especially if you're coming to age 60, planning to go at 65, well then start and work this out. But don't rush into cash. Cash is not always the answer, even though you feel it's safe. Inflation has a big bearing on the value and the purchasing power of your money, and you're going to need your pension for 20 or 30 years as an income. So inflation becomes hugely, hugely important. How do I turn my pension into an income? And that comes down to how you actually access your pension and how you actually get it. And the lump sum that you get from your pension isn't always the full picture. Yes, it's an important picture. It's hugely important. Income stability matters more, because the lump sum will come and the lump sum will go, and you'll spend it, you'll blow it on a holiday, you'll change the car, you'll treat your wife, your husband, your whoever, you'll do all the things that you wanted to do, and then the lump sum's gone. And then it comes back to what am I getting monthly, what's my costs, and what can I afford to do. So timing and structure is the key. When you access, how you access. Those are the keys, and those where the preparation and planning is important. And always plan before you need to make the decision. Never make a decision in a panic. Plan it out. What about the state pension? What about tax? Okay, the state pension is there and we all hope it's going to be there when we get to pension age. By the way, there's no guarantee it will. Surprise for some people. There is absolutely no guarantee that your state pension will be there, especially if you're 22. Okay, so as we get older, chances are, if we're getting closer to it, chances are we probably will get the state pension, but that's going to cover the basics. That's the bread and butter, guys. It's not going to cover everything that you're going to want to do in retirement. And if you're working now and you have 2 days to live your life because you have Saturday and Sunday, well, guess what happens when you retire? You suddenly got another 5 days to do nothing or do something, and you don't want to sit in the house. So state pension, absolutely important. You've got to fund it up though. Taxation happens to us all. Death and taxes. What do you do? So when it comes to planning and using taxes, the last 5-10 years of your pension planning journey from a taxation point of view and how to actually get tax relief is probably more important than the first 20 or 30 years of your pension journey. Again, preparation. No surprises is the goal here. We do not want surprises. We want to have it planned. We want to know exactly what we're doing, and we want to know when we're going to do it. What if the market falls just before I retire? Here's a question. Do you need all your money the day after you retire? No. You need this money to last you for the next 20 to 30 years. So does market fall? Yes, it can happen. Yes, it will happen. Does it make a huge part of your money, and should you rush into cash just before you retire? That's where you need to seek advice. The time of the drop matters, so does the time of the ride. So again, preparation, understanding what's happening here is hugely important, and also having a cash buffer, because if the market has taken a correction and you can postpone accessing your pension, that might be the right answer. So again, planning will always beat panic responses and panic buying or selling or jumping too quick. Planning, preparation, no surprises is the goal. What should you do this year, not someday? What should you do now? If you can, sit down and figure out what your retirement timeline is. And even if you start off with an approximate, or I would like to, even a rough idea to begin with, and then you build. And then stress test your income. Sit down with a good advisor. They'll help you figure out, well, listen, what does your income look like in retirement? And always think in today's terms, because your understanding of money at 32, but what is your 65-year-old self going to think about money 30 years from now? So it's about thinking in today's terms, and then your advisor will help you look and say, well, listen, what does inflation mean in that? How does that look in 30 years' time, or 20 years' time, or 10 years' time? And they will help you plan. But you think in today. Your advisor will help you then translate that into your future self, in your retirement self. Simplify it. Don't overly complicate it. If you've got pension funds all over the place, maybe starting to look at pulling them together if that makes financial sense. The less stress, the less moving parts when you get to pension age, the easier it is to control it. Make the decisions at the earlier rather than when you have. It's not about urgency. It's about mean planning. It's about making the decisions when you don't need to make the decisions. Have the planning done. You don't need all the answers today. You just need to start somewhere. So how much is enough? When? What risks, volatility we want to take? What income do you need? And there's a need and a want. You want to have more than you've got now, but you don't need it. But figure out the need, and then you can go for the want. If you can fund the need, well, then you can look at funding the want. And those can be two different things. Obviously, tax has a bearing, good and bad. You'll get tax relief on the way in. Yes, your income will be taxed, and you've got to factor that out of your income in retirement. But that's good advice. Good advisor will take you through the taxations. Do it now. Don't wait. As with all financial planning decisions, the earlier you start, one, the cheaper it is. The less you have to put in. Starting a pension fund at 30 is a lot easier to fund than starting a pension fund at 45 or 50. Start early, plan it, understand it, even give yourself a rough idea what that looks like. You can always tweak it. All you're really doing is taking a snapshot of your life today and planning for the future. Of course, the snapshot will change in 6 months and 6 years. Regular reviewing. Guys, my name's Pascal. I'm here to help you with any financial questions you have. Our goal is to help you make informed decisions through understanding. That's what we do. We've been doing it for over 30 years, guys. Or at least I have. Some of my staff are younger. Give us a call, guys, if you have any questions around financial planning, pensions, investments, anything you need, we're here to help.